Hello, my name is Joan. I'm with Respiratory Care. I hear you're going to be discharged soon. That must be very exciting for you after spending so much time in the hospital because of your smoke inhalation injury. That's just awful. I'm sure you're feeling much better and you're ready to get back to normal. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that because just like the doctors want everything ready for you to go home, you to be prepared, so getting your medications together, they've got the pharmacy doing that, but what I'm here to do is to talk about your lungs and what you can do at home to keep your lungs getting healthier and healthier, because I'm sure you're ready to get back to normal. All right, okay, so with your injury, since you were in a house fire and you breathed in that smoky air, it really aggravated your lungs. And so you came in with some damage, you were intubated for a little while, and now you're not intubated anymore, and you're doing your exercises like you should be doing, and now you get to go home. Well, we want to keep you on that same path of getting better, all right? So I'm going to go over some stuff with you and your mom today, and we'll get you all prepared for doing all this on your own at home. And yes, Mom, you can help him out. It's always good to have a supportive team rooting you on to get better. All right, so what I want to talk to you about is things that you want to be aware of, things to keep an eye on, if things change, if your shortness of breath comes back, if you start coughing a lot. Coughing is good, but not when you're having coughing attacks. So if you get coughing too much, we definitely want you to come back. If you're coughing up blood, just having those uncontrollable coughs, you feel like something went down the wrong pipe and that keeps happening and your medication isn't helping to resolve that. Hoarseness, if you become more hoarse, we definitely want to get you back in here. Your increased work of breathing, just anything that doesn't seem normal, you start to get a fever, nauseous, vomiting, just make an appointment right away. Don't be afraid to tell Mom or Dad, because you don't want it to get worse and you don't want to end up back in the ICU. You got out of there and you want to keep moving forward. So what we're going to go over too is some exercises that we want you to do at home. And those exercises are with your incentive spirometer. This guy's going to help keep your lungs open and you're going to get better volumes and you're not going to get sick, because we want to keep your lungs open and cough out that gross stuff, because you're going to be coughing up some nasty stuff for a little while, and this guy's going to help you get those deep breaths and those big coughs, which you want. And then also to help move your secretions, we want you to use your flutter. This is very important because it's going to also help move that nasty, gunky stuff up so you can cough it up. And with your IS, we want you to continue to do that just like you've been doing here every hour. And we want you to do 5 good breaths. And remember, you want the little guy to hover. You're not trying to max it out. It's about the nice deep breaths and a good hold and then release. And then after your 5 nice big breaths, I want you to cough. And then we're gonna do 5 more breaths. So every hour is essentially gonna be 10 breaths and a cough in between and after, all right? And then for your flutter, I want you to do that every 4 hours, kind of like with your medication treatment. So you know that when it's time for your inhaler, you're gonna do your inhaler and then you're gonna do your flutter. And I want you to get used to that routine. And that's just gonna help keep you on the right track. And then also we'll be working with you when you come in for your pulmonary rehab, because that's gonna be very important. We're gonna have you doing exercise, breathing exercises just like this, but with us, so that we can make sure you're doing it correctly and you're on the right track, because we want you to get better and to get back to playing your sports and stuff that you really love doing. All right, okay. So what else I'm going to talk to you about is things to avoid. We really need to be careful, and we don't want to send you back to where you were. So you can't be around smoking. You can't be around candles anything that's going to be an irritant for your lungs, like aerosols, like hairspray and stuff like that. I would just really stay away from that. Anything chemical, any kind of allergen, we need to be careful because you're going to be a little more sensitive, because the tissue in your trachea that helps move secretions has been kind of damaged from that smoke. It's just really hard on it and it hurts that tissue. So we need to keep you healing. And since you're young, you're 16, that's a great thing because you're going to be able to bounce back more so than if you were an older person like your mom. You know, you have that opportunity. If you keep on the right track, you're going to get back to normal. I also want to talk to you about how important it is that your doctor prescribed you these medications, and you're going to really need to take them when you're supposed to take them every day. You don't want to skip those. So if you're on an antibiotic, you got to make sure to take that. And you're going to take your bronchodilator, which is albuterol. And you also have to take your budesonide, which is the steroid that's going to help with the inflammation. So that albuterol is going to help with the coughing attacks that you kind of been having because your lungs are just really angry right now because that smoke just upset it. So you're going to do your albuterol, and then you're going to do your budesonide. You always do your albuterol first. And you remember how to do your inhaler. You always want to use your spacer, not with the steroid, just with the albuterol, always, because then I know that you're getting all that medication. And you don't want to breathe it in too fast, because if it sounds like a whistle or a choo-choo train makes, we don't want that. We want you to do nice, slow, and deep breaths and hold for 5 seconds, wait like 10 seconds, and do your other dose. And then I want you to use your dry inhaler. And what's very important, you know how we like you to cough after everything? We don't want you to cough after using your DPI, because it's a powder. So you don't want to cough that medicine up. You want it to kind of absorb into the tissue of the lungs. So don't cough after that. But that's how I want you to do your medication, then wait a little while, and then I want you to do your exercises. And I always do, keep it out and in front of you so you remember to do it, because if you're not out there and you're not seeing it, you might forget. So make a routine, set a timer. You're really used to setting timers on my phone. That is very helpful with this because it's very important. We need you to get better. And then it doesn't look like you're gonna need any oxygen, which is great, but this is where I want you to really pay attention to your body. Don't exert yourself right now. You have to let yourself heal. Do it a little bit at a time. Come to your pulmonary rehab appointments, and then we can kind of guide you where you're at and when you can really push yourself and when to step back. All right? And then any chest pain or anything like that, I want you to let us know. You have to come in for your follow-up pulmonary function testing. That is very important because we want to see where you're at and make sure that you're getting better and on the right track. And then also your follow-up chest x-rays. You do not want to miss those because we want to keep an eye on everything and make sure it's going in the right direction. So I think that's all I have for you today. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Okay, you don't. I put in a website in my pamphlet for you to take home, all the education materials. And I just want you to, if you need to read up a little bit more on your predicament, that's great to do, great for mom to do. But, any questions you have, just, get in contact with me. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day, and you just keep getting better.